Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 9 of the F1 2018 Williams Road to Glory Career Mode, where we're here today for the third episode of the day.
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for this weekend has failed. Check your workstation for the details.
And I went into this Grand Prix weekend all happy and looking forward to the Australian Grand Prix, and it looks like we've already faced issues with the car there. The goal update though, coming into this Grand Prix weekend, obviously, if you did miss out at the last race, obviously, Paul Ricard, actually, the new Formula 1 track on the calendar, I would highly recommend going back and checking that out. But yeah, the goal update now is once again to complete 6 R&D practice programs. The part that failed was actually the front downforce, the under-nose turning vanes, which was very unfortunate in the end, though. It's not going to have too much damage in terms of performance. You know, we'll get that sorted out actually right now as well for 270 extra R&D points there. No % chance of failure that time round. But as you can see, you know, we're making slow but steady progress in terms of the aerodynamics on this car. We're pretty much now matched with Sauber. You can see we're actually ahead of Sauber overall, and it looks like we could jump Toro Rosso as well very soon. But let's move on then into round 9 here at the Austrian Grand Prix, a track that I'm quite a big fan of and hopefully one that should suit this car.
Hello and welcome to Spielberg for the first practice session of the Austrian Grand Prix. We can see, of course, plenty of activity in the garages as we wait for the green light to get this session underway. Anthony Davidson, thank you for joining me once again. What are you going to be looking out for once the cars get out there on the circuit today?
Well, naturally, in any free practice session, you can never be sure exactly what programs the teams are running, how much fuel they've put in, and so on. So it's important to resist the temptation to draw any firm conclusions from the fastest times on the monitor. What we can do, however, is look for consistent pace over the course of multiple laps. So if someone does half a Grand Prix distance and they're consistently half a second quicker than another driver doing the same, then that's generally a good indicator of a car with a solid race pace.
So here we are then, here at Austria for this practice. FP1, obviously, like we go every single week, you know, we'll jump into some laps, try and do the track acclimatization, all the things like that. Fairly simple stuff, you know, keep the R&D tally ticking over on the whole. And coming towards the end then of my track acclimatization lap, well, it was a purple score once more there. Austria, obviously, only 9 corners. Technically, I already said there's 8 corners anyway. And so that was pretty easy on the whole. And then the ERS management, once again, you know, quite easy on the whole. We take a bit of a weird line through the final couple of corners there. But this car was really strong through there. Running a tiny bit wide on the exit down towards the line. It's going to be the purple score on the ERS management. Obviously, we want to try and get 3 practice programs done in each of these Grand Prix weekends, so we can achieve the 6 overall there, and we do actually get the fastest lap in the qualifying pace run as well. So all fairly easy on the whole, you know, nicely done. Didn't take me too long whatsoever. Picked up obviously a good few R&D points as well there, as you can see, having a look through all the bonuses. It's going to be around 300 R&D points on the whole. They're 308, which takes us up to 426. So hopefully another upgrade on the car after qualifying, but we'll have to wait and see. Qualifying wise today, the aim is to probably get into Q2.
Thank you for joining us once again for today's qualifying session. Sit back, relax, and enjoy what we hope will be a fantastic contest for pole position.
So as I said, you know, the aim is probably Q2 this weekend. You know, we've had quite strong pace in free practice there, and obviously hoping that, well, it should be able to transfer to some decent pace in qualifying as we move into this Austrian Grand Prix. Obviously, pretty much a power-dominated circuit, and where we've pretty much got the best power unit on the grid. You know, it should really help us out. But stability as well is obviously a key factor on this car. As we come through towards the end, though, of my first flying lap in Q1, down towards the line, it's going to be a 1:05.9. Just shy of Nico Hulkenberg's time, but obviously around such a short circuit, qualifying is going to be very tight. But we did just make it through P14 there after the first qualifying session. Very happy with that result. I'm pretty certain it was my teammates and both Saubers, the Toro Rosso, Brendan Hartley, and Stoffel Van Dorn that didn't make it through there. So unfortunate for the Mclaren driver, but as I said, you know, so tight in qualifying here. Like it was obviously in the real life Grand Prix, means that, well, unfortunate for Stoffel, couldn't get the lap in, and therefore he dropped out in Q1. But in terms then of Q2, obviously no real further particular aims over just, you know, trying to finish up as high as we possibly could. Wasn't expecting to get any higher than Q2 here around Austria. You know, quite a good track for this car, but, you know, the top guys are just really, really well paced. Down towards the line, it was going to be a 1 minute 5.8. I think there was a half a tenth improvement over our Q1 lap there, so I will certainly take that. By the end of the session, yeah, P12 on the grid. They're very, very happy with that result. You can see 2 cars actually less than, well, 20 thousandths behind me there, so very, very close. Romain Grosjean, myself, Fernando Alonso, Kevin Magnussen, and Pierre Gasly all dropping out in Q2 there, but still a very, very strong result for myself. In terms of our rivalry breakdowns, then we are now tied with Lance Stroll and now beating Pierre Gasly as well. So I would certainly take that at the moment. That 41 respect points would certainly be very, very useful. And in terms of R&D, it's going to be quite a good little handful of points there. You can see, obviously getting the 100 bonus as well, which takes us 177. Now takes us up to 618 R&D points there, which is obviously super ideal to go on the car. We'll try and get one quick upgrade on it as well before we move in to this race. You can see we're probably going to go, well, we are going to go with that aerodynamics upgrade there. I think that's 560 points on the whole. Quite cheap on the whole, obviously. That's really, you know, there's no point spending 2,000 R&D points on a big upgrade when we can just go for the little ones just for now. We did consider doing like the quality control or something, but we just want to try and get raw upgrades on the car here. But let's move on then into the Austrian Grand Prix.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of Turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Renault. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo and Perez, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Ocon and Romain Grosjean. The Professor, Alonso, Kevin Magnussen and Gasly, Verstappen, Van Dorn, Charles Leclerc and Lance Stroll. Hartley and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
We're in a better grid position than we were expecting. Let's see if we can hold on to it.
So P12 then, after qualifying for the Austrian Grand Prix, hopefully it should be quite a good, clean race here today. A fairly simple one-stop strategy. On the whole, it'll be interesting to see what the AI opt for, because it is going to be quite tight in terms of tyres. But here we are then, ready for the Austrian Grand Prix. In all honesty, a good chance to score points here today, but it's 5 lights on the grid and it's lights out. And away we go, and well, that is an absolutely abysmal start on the run towards turn 1. They're losing places left, right and centre. Pierre Gasly tries to look around the outside. Van Dorn sends it up the inside as well there. Well, we do get past both of those two, but dropping all the way down to P15 there off the launch. So certainly, you know, we could have had a much better start to the race, but on that harder compounded tyres does make it a little bit tougher. They're outbraking myself there up the inside of Pierre Gasly. Sorry, Max Verstappen even, as we try to have a sniff up the inside of Magnussen as well. They're obviously not able to do that just yet. There's no real point in trying to hold up that Red Bull car. You know, they are very, very quick around their home Grand Prix circuit as well. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see. It's a very, very long race ahead of us, 36 laps here around Austria. And I must say, you know, I've actually been to this racetrack before in real life, and it is an absolutely fantastic circuit. On the whole, a really, really good venue for Formula 1. But as we come through this in towards this final sector of the opening lap. Now you can see all the guys just ahead of me start to make a little bit of a breakaway very, very early on. You know, it's sort of going to be one of those races where we're on a bit of an odd strategy, so we'll just look to, you know, just play our own races. We run massively wide through the final corner there. But yeah, just play our own race, you know, do what we need to do, and then just see where we end up. And you can see by the end of lap 5 though, it's actually starting to get a little bit close. You can see going up towards turn 1 there, cars 3 wide. And I must say, the AI around here, if you want a good battle with the AI, they are phenomenal around this circuit on the whole. You know, you'll see that throughout the entirety of this video. You can see just up the top of the hill, 2 wide once again as they move into turn 2. That's Gasly and I think Roman Grosjean there in the Haas car. So really, really good battling, and this really, really helps me out as well, because, well, if these guys battle, that means that I can hopefully move up through the order as well. But you see K-Mag just ahead of me tries to have a sniff up the inside of Esteban Ocon in towards the final couple of corners here. So this is really, really going to help me out. Breaking through the final corner there. Both of them going to run each other wide on the exit of the corner there, which means I'm going to be able to get past Ocon. And now I'm going to try and look up the inside of Magnussen as well. In towards turn 1, we do break pretty much equally there into the corner there. We're given the room on the outside, but we do get slightly better drive on the exit of the corner now. But he will have the slipstream here. And just look at the AI. Ericsson almost tries to make it 3 wide just behind me there. Ocon tries to dive down the inside there. He almost runs into the back of Van Dorn there. Van Dorn doing very, very well to take evasive action from that one. But we do get the power down around the outside of Esteban Ocon there. And back up now into P14 of this Grand Prix. We think about going for a move up the inside of Van Dorn. But think better of it there. That would have been quite a scary lunge on the whole. And now as we come towards the end of lap 12 here, a third of the way through this Grand Prix already. And so far, you know, it has been a fairly decent race. You see, actually on the minimap there, a couple of drivers starting to make their first pit stops of the day as well. So clearly, you know, tyre wear isn't too bad around here. We're going to go straight to the outside of Esteban Ocon though. He's going to be able to keep the nose up the inside though as we come through turn 1 there, and be able to hold on to that position just for now. Slipstream overtake mode. Rich Revs, are we going to be able to have a look up the inside? No, we move to the outside there as he plays it a bit defensive. Break just that little bit earlier than the McLaren car there. And on the exit, are we going to be able to get better traction? Yes, we do. With the DRS as well, we're going to move to the outside of Stoffel Van Dorn here. To the outside, break it down in towards turn 3. Yes, we have already got the car fully passed in there. He's not going to try and keep the nose up the inside. And it's now going to be P11 here in Austria. So quite a good start to this Grand Prix on the whole. As we now move on to lap 15, a very, very strange moment you're about to see that. I'm trying to fiddle around with the ERS deployment there, and just suddenly see Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton very, very slow off the exit of turn 1 there. I'm going to have a look on the replays as to what has happened there, because that certainly seems like a very, very unusual little incident there between Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. We'll try and go on board. It looked like Alonso was holding Lewis up there, and on board with Lewis Hamilton, he just can't seem to engage a higher gear than second. He does finally get the car all the way up to 4th there. But yeah, that was certainly a very, very weird incident. Fernando obviously just goes straight into the back of him there. And yeah, Hamilton just stuck in 2nd gear until we get past him, finally finds drive in 4th gear there. And well, he's had a lot of reliability issues so far this season. That is going to cost him a huge amount of time as well though. I know he got jumped by Sebastian, so that was really, really unfortunate for Lewis Hamilton there. But yeah, he drops a couple more places there. Now he's going to be behind me, but by lap 20, you know, we let all these faster guys through. And now it's time for our one and only pit stop of the day. We've got Sergio Perez all over the back of me as we come now down in towards the pit lane here, making sure we do get the car slowed down nice and tidily. Yes, we do get the car obviously stopped right on the marks there. Really, really happy with how the first stint has gone in this race. Now looking to try and continue the momentum throughout the second half of this Grand Prix. A fairly clean pit stop onto a set of the super soft tyres here, so obviously going quite well so far in terms of tyre wear there. We're going to come out the pits all the way down in P15 though, but hopefully, you know, during the second half of the race, a couple of drivers will be making 2-stop Grand Prix here, so we should be able to move up a couple more places between now and the end of this Austrian Grand Prix here as we come moving on just a couple of laps further. You know, we've got Esteban Ocon 3.3 seconds ahead of us just as of right now. But as we move on to lap 23, you can see Esteban now very, very close just ahead of us here. He's getting held up by Brendan Hartley at this stage of the day there as we use the DRS out of the final corner. No idea why the DRS is showing up like it would in a track acclimatization lap, but Ocon up the inside of Hartley in towards T1. The Hartley's going to be able to keep it around the outside though. We're going to use the slipstream, the rich revs, the ERS overtake mode once again here. And are we going to be able to get a good run? Yes, we certainly are. Closing up to the back of Hartley. He's going to switch back to the inside of Esteban Ocon there. A fantastic little dummy move by the Toro Rosso man there. We're going to try and move past Esteban Ocon. We're going to be side by side with Brendan Hartley here. Are we going to be able to make the double overtake work as we start coming back down the hill in towards turn 3? Hartley, though, once again, very, very brave on the brakes, able to hold it right around the outside there as we come through turn 4. And then a little bit of contact made between the pair of us through turn 5. Now we swing it right around the outside of the Toro Rosso there. Really, really happy with that move. Not too sure where that illegal move, well, dangerous move was on the whole. We now move back up into P12 of this Grand Prix, but honestly, between there and the end of the race, it pretty much just was very, very quiet for myself. See, by the end of lap 26, 10 laps to go of this race, we actually had, I think it's Pierre Gasly and Romain Grosjean both diving into the pit lane there for a 2-stop race, which now moves me up into the points of this Austrian Grand Prix here. So far in those races gone really, really well for myself. Sainz currently having a bit of an issue on that car as well, so potentially we could capitalise a little bit more, but unfortunately by lap 30, as you can see, Sainz, he did have that issue. He did really sort of drop back towards us, and then it seemed that Renault, were able to fix that all up, and well, by the end of the Grand Prix, he was just going to be able to hold on to that. But as we move into the final lap, though, of this Austrian Grand Prix, the real sort of pressure came from Romain Grosjean there, only 1 second behind me as we move into this final lap, but we have been storing up a little bit of ERS, a little bit of rich revs if we did need it as well, so we should be able to hold on at this stage of the day. We've got Magnussen and Sainz just ahead of me having quite a good little battle as well, but Kimi Räikkönen does come through to win the Austrian Grand Prix there, his 2nd win of the season. Now both Ferraris now with at least 2 wins apiece, and well, every other driver so far, obviously both Mercedes each have 1, and then Kevin Magnussen as well obviously has 1 Grand Prix victory to his name as well. Kimi, a very, very well-deserved win there in the end. The first time this season as well, Seb has actually finished outside of the top 2 there. He still finished on the podium though, so it's certainly not exactly a full-on race from Sebastian Vettel there. But through, down in towards the final couple of corners though, and well, overall, very, very happy with the performance of the car. Very, very decent race car around this Austrian Grand Prix circuit. Out of the final corner, it is going to be points here at Austria.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you pulled through. Thank you.
And as we can see, it's time for the podium, and as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
My driver of the day was Max Verstappen. He did a cracking job moving through the field, just highlighting why he's so highly rated in the paddock.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye, and see you again next time.
So there we are then, just having a quick flick through the race results there from that Grand Prix. And overall, as I said, a really, really solid race for myself. Fernando Alonso actually had to retire later on in the race there, which is very, very unfortunate for him. But yeah, quite a good little race. Obviously, we started in P11, moved up 1 place after that horrific start, When you look further down the order, obviously Grosjean, Hülkenberg, Gasly and Hartley, all should have probably been ahead of me there, but obviously not able to make the 1-stop work at the end of the day there, so I will certainly take that result. A 5-second stop go for Lewis Hamilton as well there for illegal blocking, which would have been the move with Fernando Alonso there, so a very, very weird sort of little bug at the midway stage of the Grand Prix there. But there we are then, that has been the Austrian Grand Prix, my 3rd race overall in this season where we've been able to score points there. I think takes our tally now up to 20 overall, so very, very happy with that, how that race went overall in the end. In terms of the standings though, well, Seb obviously has still got a 2-race lead over Valtteri Bottas there. Kimi Räikkönen slowly moving back in towards Valtteri as well. There, Ricciardo holding on to P4 at the moment. Hamilton jumps past Verstappen once again. They're 1 point separating those two, with Hülkenberg best of the rest. And the only other moves were Sergio Perez jumping both Ocon and Sainz. We still find ourselves in P13, and Lance Stroll still the only driver left in this championship so far to have not scored a single point now. But yeah, we move next time out into the British Grand Prix. This will be the final day of triple uploads from this career mode. We're going to drop it back down to 2 between now and the rest of the season, and then we'll sort of see what the support is like and whether I'll keep it at double uploads or drop it back down to single uploads as we move into September there. But hopefully, you know, you guys have enjoyed this video on the whole. We're going to sort of talk through the interview as well at the end of this race. Good race for ourselves, yes, certainly very, very happy.
Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
Yeah, hopefully they are. Obviously, I do just see the smile on their faces there, which shows my showmanship rating for some reason goes up with that.
Scrapes today. Who would you say is at fault?
That was definitely Charles at the start, you know. That was a ridiculous move around the outside there. So I'm going to pin it on him. Sauber even are going to hate me after that one there. But still, we didn't get the cold shoulder from Claire that time, you know. She was actually happy the fact that we gave her all the answers that she wanted there. So overall, as I said, you know, very, very happy with how the Austrian Grand Prix has gone on the whole. Once again, you know, a huge, huge thank you for all the support on these videos so far. You know, it's, well, just mind-blowing. You know, we're nearly at 8,000 subscribers already at the time of recording this video. I think we just hit 7,700 there, so really, really happy with how far it's gone. And, you know, obviously, as I said, you know, we'll drop down to double uploads where I try to get prepared for being away at the the Belgian Grand Prix even coming up this next weekend there. In terms of resource points, though, just before we quickly obviously cap off this Grand Prix weekend there, I think it's going to be well over 200 points on the whole. That could be, yeah, it's actually going to be over 300 by the end there, 359. Not going to be enough, though, for another upgrade on the car. Williams, once again, very, very happy with how well we are driving at the moment. But as I said, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new around here as well. Help me try to get to 8,000 and then ultimately 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. But I will see you guys next time for the British Grand Prix.